In this video, we are looking at Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. We're going to look at a bar chord version of the song. So using only 4 shapes, but they are using bar chords. We use a 5th string minor bar chord, a 6th string minor bar chord, and a 5th string major bar chord. Or we could use a 6th string major bar chord as well, and we'll talk about that. We're also going to look at the riff that he plays, which is a bit of a cool kind of riff to play around with. So yeah, some good stuff here to sink your teeth into. So this would be great for a senior level, kind of 4, 5, and a junior level, kind of 6 kind of level. So let's zoom in and take a look at some of these chords. Okay, so the first chord we have is a C sharp minor. So our first chord is barring across all 5 strings, A string right down to top E. Our third finger is on the 7th fret, or sorry, 6th fret of the D string. Little finger just goes underneath that on the G string, and second finger goes on the B string, fret 5. And that is strummed 5 strings down. So one more time, first finger is barring across 5 strings, A through to E. Third finger goes on the D string, fret 6. Little finger on the G string, fret 6, and second finger on the B string, fret 5, strumming 5 strings down. Next chord we have is F sharp minor. So we're going to go back now to fret 2, and our first finger is barring again, all 6 strings now from the low E to the high E. Our third finger is going to go on the A string, fret 4, and our little finger just underneath that on the D string, fret 4, and that is strummed all 6 strings. So far we have the C sharp minor, F sharp minor, and transition between those shapes, you can see it's actually pretty much the same shape. I'm just taking my second finger and then just lifting the whole thing up 1 string. Now you can see it's basically like a power chord, my first and third and fourth finger, that shape, and just lifting it up. So C sharp minor, F sharp minor. Next chord we can do is just an A, and we could do that as an open A, so second fret on the D string, G and B. Or we could do it as a bar chord at fret 5, just like the F sharp minor, moved up, so our first finger is now at fret 5, second finger needs to go on the G string, fret 2 to make that a major bar chord. So you've got a couple of different ways we could do that, open A or bar chord A at fret 5. Now the last chord is a B major, so we could take that shape and just move up now to fret 7. Or we could do the bar chord of the B major all the way back at fret 2. So if we're doing the open A, this will obviously make sense because it's closer. And our first finger is going to bar from the A string, fret 2, all the way down to the high E string, fret 2. And our third finger is going to bar the D, G and B at fret 4. So one more time with those chords, we've got the C sharp minor, F sharp minor, got the A either open or fret 5, and the B either fret 2 or fret 7. And there we go, there are the chords. Okay, so now we know the 4 shapes. Let's look at kind of putting them a bit more into the tune. So C sharp minor, we've got the F sharp minor, we've got the A and the B. And again, the A and the B can either be played open and 2nd fret, or 5th fret on the E and then slid up to 7th fret on the E. Again, entirely up to you. You might favour that bar chord, the B major 6th string root, rather than the 5th string, because you don't have to do this kind of double bar with the 3rd finger. So to put that together, let's look at a bit the rhythm. So the rhythm is 1 E and a 2 E and. Down, miss, miss, up, because we got basically a dotted 8th note. So 1 E and a, 1 E and a. So down, miss, miss, up. Then we're going to miss and then down again. So it goes 1 E and a, 2 E and. 1 E and a, 2 E and. And that goes on every chord. So 1 E and a, 2 E and. 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 And there we go, that is it for the whole song. You just do that. So the rhythm wise, I'm mimicking the main riff of the tune. You could embellish that because we've got bar chords, we can just obviously remove the pressure and you're going to get a nice muted strum. So you could put muted strums in between those main strums. So you're going 1 E and again, but now 1 E and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So that sounds quite nice. Again, just you can do it quite randomly. Just take off the pressure and just put in the mutes in between, so it adds a bit more rhythmic interest. So that sounds quite cool. You can mess around with that idea. And that's pretty much it. There's not much more to say. It's those 4 bar chords. Just playing around that rhythm, have a little bit of fun with that. With the transitions, yep, try and keep fingers quite rigid, so you're moving the shapes around rather than kind of fingers individual. Little tip there to help bar chords get a bit quicker. But apart from that, that's it. So there you go. There's the bar chord version of Shape of You. Okay, so for the riff, we are going to play 4th fret on the A string and 2nd fret on the B string. So we've basically got a C sharp octave. And we're going to play both those strings together. Now you could do this a couple of different ways. You could do it with fingers, so finger picking, thumb on the A perhaps, and maybe third finger, sorry, on the B string, or second, doesn't really matter, whichever feels most kind of comfortable. Or you could do hybrid picking, where you pick the A string you pick, and your finger plays the B string. Whatever makes more sense to you. So we're doing both those strings together. We're then going to pick the A string and E string together. So we have that so far. So the A and the B, and the A and the E. You then go back to A and B again. And that's the first half of the first bar. And to put some rhythm on that, we have 1 E and 2 E and. Now, you want to cut these notes short, you want to do staccato, which means as you play it, you're just going to take the pressure off so you can't hear it. You don't want them to ring out like this. You want it to be nice and short and detached. So there's the first part of the bar. So we've got 1 E and 2 E and. We then use the same rhythm all the way through the song. So 1 E and 2 E and. So next one we're going to do is 2nd fret on the E string and 2nd fret on the B string. I'm going to play both those two together. You can see now I've swapped fingers. 2nd finger is now on the E. 3rd finger is on the B. I'm going to pick those together. And then do the E and the, or both E's basically, low E and the high E. And then back to the E and the B again. So you've got E and B, both E's, and the E and B. And that's the first bar, so we're going to go around that. So we have our first shape, 4 and 2. And 2. So that's what we've got so far, a bit more speed. I'll play it again, so I did make a little mistake there. Next part, we're going to just take off the 2nd finger and pick the open A string with the B string. Then do the open A string with an open E string. So high E string 1. And then go back again to the open A string and the B string. So you can see the open E string is always kind of the second note grouping to play on the chord. So you have the open A and the B string, then open A and the E string, open A and the B string again. So up to this point we have the 4 and the 2. We have the F sharps. Then we take off that 2nd finger. And again. Again, a bit more speed. Last part we're going to do is 2nd fret on the A string, 4th fret on the B string. So that's the first pick. We're going to keep our 2nd finger down on the A string and then do 2nd fret on the B string. And then do open fret on the B string. So you can see you're walking down the B there, 4, 2, 0. But as you're walking down, you're playing that A string as well. So you're doing A2, B4, A2, B2, then A2, just open B. So we put that together, just this second bar where we go from the open A, 2nd fret on the B. One more time. Now the whole thing so far we have pretty much speed. So there we go, there's the fingering for the riff. Obviously it might take a little while to get the speed up. Watch out for the staccato, so getting those notes nice, crisp and short. You don't want them ringing out, you know, it doesn't sound very good doing that. You want to get it nice and short. So bear that in mind. Watch out obviously for that walk down there on the B string, that's a bit fiddly too. So there's a little bit there to kind of work on. But there we go, there is the riff. Don't forget to drop any comments below if you have any questions or queries or anything like that. Make sure you subscribe to keep up to date with any of the future videos we release, and I'll see you in the next video.